Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter. Once again, this is from the Sunday Night Fights Season 5 tournament, and this is from the round of 128. This time around, our heroes are going to be Killjoy, playing for the Germans, and his opponent today is going to be El Torago, playing for the Soviets of the Red Army. So, a little bit about the players. Highest ranking player would be El Torago. He is ranked on the 800s for his 1v1 Soviets. And the seeding is 60 for El Torago and 69 for Killjoy. So, decently matched setup here. So, we shall see how it plays out. Build order wise, nothing out of the usual, I guess you could say. We have conscripts, we have grenadiers. So El Torago going for conscripts, Killjoy going for grenadiers, and his tier 1. So again, nothing out of the ordinary. It is what you would expect from a normal match, but it'll start deviating from that, I'm sure, later on. Capping order wise, we see El Torago going for the southern side of the map with his combat engineers. No rushing for the fuel this time for either player, so El Torago will be able to simply walk to it and capture it. And Killjoy, likewise, sent his pioneers to the edge of the map and capturing that side. Grenadiers going to the center, conscripts going to the center. We have the conscripts already in the center because they come out first. And the other conscripts are going over to the left-hand side. So a little bit of a spread out, no combined arms, I guess, and forces together. Conscripts in the center will run into those grenadiers, trying to capture that victory point. They dance around the road, and then they will get themselves into heavy cover on that wall, getting themselves on the edge so they continue to cap the point. Very nice, and will be able to fight against these grenadiers. Two grenadier squads, however, are coming up against that lone conscript squad, so even with the heavy cover, the conscript squad will lose that fight. There is no follow-up. We do have the other conscript squad moving into the zone to help out, but it is too far away. The conscript squad is in a lot of trouble. It will jump into the house, probably the best choice it has, to delay, and these grenadiers will have to stay in the zone, fighting for a while the other conscripts move into support. Third conscript squad on the field for El Torago, moving in, and the combat engineers are not being moved in, they're just simply capturing territory. Grenadiers displacing themselves in the face of those new conscript squad. Grenadier up north, ooh, Molotov going down, nice, but it actually dodges it. One does go down though, so very nice move here by El Torago. He actually managed to essentially win the fight against two grenadier squads with only one conscript, delaying until the second conscript squad moves into support, and this grenadier squad might even die. He does have a decent amount of health for a one-man squad, and he makes it out alive, so very lucky there. So very nice play there by El Torago, manages to keep his conscript squads at 5 men each, and will be able to capture the territory. He could even go for the cutoff point right now, although it looks like he is a little bit reluctant to do so. Right-hand side, we hear an engagement, and that is combat engineers against grenadiers. The combat engineers decide to retreat, noticing that they can't really win that fight. If it was pioneers, maybe, but not that case. Left-hand side, pioneers as well retreat once they run into those conscripts. One of them does get shot, but the conscripts decide to spare the life of the other ones. Front of the base, we see an MG42 for Killjoy coming into the field. It is going to get into this house to start opening up on the conscripts on the strategic point. And being relatively defended, there is Molotovs on the field, however, so Torago could move up to throw one, but it looks like he decides against it and will just simply back off. Grenadiers on the field coming up to get to the point. We have 3 grenadiers on the field for Killjoy with an MG42, and we have 4 conscripts on the field for El Torago. Tech-wise, we now see El Torago going for tier 1, so we shall see if he's going to get anything from tier 1 or if he's using that as a stepping stone. Obviously, he doesn't have the fuel right now to be able to get any additional tech, but if he waits a little bit, I suppose it could work. Conscripts just holding ground in the center of the map for El Torago, awaiting Killjoy to make a move. He does have pretty much the rest of the map in his possession, even going for the fuel up north, so he is sitting comfortably in the map camp situation. Tier 1 about to finish. For Killjoy, we are going to see tier 2 coming up, so rather fast teching by both players. 4 minutes in, so decent timings. And the conscripts up north managed to hold their ground in heavy cover, and 2 conscripts were moving up on that grenadier squad, forced it off the field. Grenadier squad over here moving to the strategic point, and the MG42 finally jumps out. It looks like it's going to go into the house probably. Thing is that it is going to get Molotov. We can almost be certain of that, and potentially take some damage. Molotov landing on the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers do move out of the flames after taking some damage. Molotov landing on the MG42. MG42 packing up and leaving the house, but now on the wrong side of the house. It is in supposed heavy cover, but the conscripts are right on top of it. One of the conscripts is behind its arc of fire, decides to pack up again and move. It's going to jump back into the house, going to take another Molotov in the face. Here we see the guy winding up for the pitch, and there it goes. So MG42 not catching any break. Killjoy packing it up once again and taking it out of the house. Runs out of the house through the flames, down to 2 men. 2 of them catch fire. Third one catches fire. Down to 1 man, taking a lot of damage. That MG42 goes down and is now for the taking for the Torago. Grenadier squad down south is getting shot by 3 conscripts. Actually, 2 conscripts and a Grenadier combat engineer squad, sorry. And the Grenadiers on retreat. Second Grenadier squad moving up to the wall to get some heavy cover, but again it is being attacked by multiple squads. Conscripts decide to go for it and get the MG42, while 1 man remains on the conscript squad itself, retreating. So nice victory there for El Torago, getting himself a MG42 this early on is going to be quite useful for him. And we now see that Killjoy decides to get himself another MG42, which is somewhere. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. This is actually El Torago's MG42 retreating. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, half track on the field for Killjoy. Very nice. He isn't sending it in, but he is getting the upgrade for the flamethrower. He is also producing a Panzer Grenadier squad, so that's going to be quite useful. But now we see that Killjoy got himself a penal battalion. Very interesting. So he did get something from tier 1. And hasn't actually built anything else. He does have his combat engineers right there, which makes me believe he's going to be building some type of tech. He does have the fuel for it, but I guess he's just waiting on the manpower. But yeah, very interesting. He went for a penal battalion. We don't see penal battalions that much, and this is actually the first time we see penal battalions in the tournament. So we shall see how well they perform for El Torago. So far, though, he's been doing pretty well in the game, having the advantage, and remember that these guys can actually get themselves a flamethrower. We'll see if that comes into play. So far, though, they're just moving down south. They did force away a Pioneer squad, and yeah. We hear the half-track moving around. It is over here on the right-hand side of the map, so Killjoy reluctant to use the half-track in an aggressive manner. Not sure if that is wise. He should use it aggressively to support his Grenadiers, but he's using it on the side more like a scout car for harassment, as you can say. Grenadiers in the center, taking a Molotov to the face, down to 3 men, getting burned alive, down to 1 man on the retreat. Rifle nade does get tossed on the MG42. The MG42 stops firing and allows that Grenadier squad to make it out alive. And the half-track is just circling around on the right-hand side of the map, so yeah. Not entirely sure why he's not being aggressive with it, combining it with his infantry, obviously. We do have a Panzer Grenadier squad and Grenadier squad over on the north, going for the fuel and such, so they will be able to pick off units on their own, especially like this conscript squad. But the center of the map is currently pretty much supported completely by El Torago. He only has 2 units, but with an MG42 and conscript, he has a lot of firepower and capability of dealing with multiple threats. Second Panzer Grenadier squad getting produced for Killjoy. Up north, we hear the Panzer Grenadiers engaging those conscripts. 1 conscript falls. Panzer Grenadiers continue to push forward, but the conscripts URA out of the way. So very nice control there by El Torago. He's using URA and things like that to move out of the way instead of instantly retreating. Grenadier squad pushing up into the center. Conscripts taking position in the house while the MG42 backs off. Might take position in the wall or maybe jump into a different house. Look like it's going to back off to this wall? No, it looks like it's actually going to the north to try to fend off these Grenadiers. Interesting, okay. So a complete displacement there. Conscripts jump out of the house. They did push back the Grenadier squad, and the half-track is on the edges. Like I said, being harassive actually brings the penal battalion down to 1 man, almost kills it out, but it does manage to retreat barely alive with a sliver of health. Tier 3 coming up for El Torago. He should be able to build himself a... well, T-34 even. Probably going to go for the T-70, I would assume, at this point, but interesting. No additional tech for Killjoy. And no additional vehicles. Grenadiers pushing forward, getting shot by the conscripts, down to 2 men. They will lose that fight, although there is a Panzer Grenadier coming up for support. Grenadier squad down to 1 man. Can he actually finish it off? No, the conscripts are getting battered by the Panzer Grenadiers, and they have to force the retreat. MG42 on the left-hand side, set up in an angle where it cannot shoot at these guys, moving around, packing up, and repositioning. Does have a decent angle covering this approach, but not a full angle. And Panzer Grenadiers in the center. Right-hand side, we hear the engagement. 2 conscript squads against the Panzer Grenadiers. Molotov will go down on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers shift position, shooting the conscript squad on the retreat. Down to 2 men on the retreat, but it looks like they're going to be able to make it out alive. And the 5-man conscript squad is moving away from the Panzer Grenadiers. On their own, they can't really hope to win that fight. And he did go for a T-34, so no T-70s. T-34 now on the field for Killjoy, so that is going to be quite brutal. We'll be able to take out that half-track if he goes hunting. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know why Killjoy went for the half-track and using it on the sides. The half-track is main... I mean, obviously the flamethrower is quite awesome, but the main strength of the half-track is its ability to reinforce your units on the field. So what do you want to do? Keep it close to your units, whether it be close to defensive weapons, or weapon teams that is, to be able to reinforce those on the field, or, you know, attacking with your mobile infantry so that you can also reinforce on the field and do incredible damage with your flamethrower. Not sitting on the edge guarding a side of the map. If you wanted to do this, get yourself a scout car. Scout cars are great against infantry, and they're very fast, very mobile, so you can use them for harass. But, well, Killjoy decided to take the wrong route and has his Grenadiers and infantry in the center on the map, unsupported by the half-track, and the half-track is currently a waste. So, T-34, ripping a Pioneer squad to shreds on the fuel point, forces them off of the map. Up north, we hear Grenadiers and Penal Battalion engaging. The Penal Battalion has yet to get its flamethrower upgrade. Not exactly sure why the flamethrower does a lot of damage, but they are very good units, and they managed to win the fight against that Grenadier squad. Grenadier gets stopped by the T-34 and ends up getting shot in the back. Fuel point, we see Panzer Grenadiers trying to cap it, but we have a conscripts harassing them. There is a pair of Grenadier squads flanking that conscript squad. Oh, what was that? Where's the Penal Battalion? I don't know. It's up here. Interesting. Oh well. T-34 in the center, taking some shots at those Grenadiers. Grenadiers now getting sieged by 3 conscript squads at the same time. T-34 takes a barrage by those Panzer Shreks and moves along. Now hunting those Grenadiers. Is it actually going to go for the chase? No, he decides to turn around and face the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are having to run through 3 conscript squads and a T-34. Down goes 1 Grenadier, losing one of the Panzer Shreks. Going to be picked up by one of those conscript squads, and there they goes. Veteran C2 conscript squad is the one that picks it up, so that's going to come into play very nicely. The half-track ends up hitting a mine out up here in the strategic point, gets its damage engine, and the T-34 is now on the hunt, gonna be able to take it down. And no additional things for Killjoy. Killjoy got himself tier 3, so he's probably wanting, well, he's building tier 3 that is. So he's probably gonna be wanting to get himself a tank, either a Stug or a Panzer IV, to fight that T-34, but yeah, I mean, he's losing control of the game very quickly. El Torago, for his part, is pretty much dominating the map, has a lot of infantry. He has 4 conscript squads now with PPSHs. We actually see doctrines already selected, I guess I didn't mention that. And that is going to be the Festung Armor Doctrine for Killjoy, and the Soviet Chalk Army for El Torago. So with the Soviet Chalk Army, he's going to be able to get PPSHs, which he does. He has 2 PPSHs already equipped. I mean, and 2 squads, I'd say. And, well, El Torago, I guess, has the ability to pop smokes. That's about it. Panzerfaust going down on the T-34, getting a damage on the engine. Conscript squad getting mauled by all the infantry of Killjoy. So down goes one of the conscripts, and that was one of the conscripts with the PPSHs. So a little bit of an unfortunate loss there for El Torago, but nothing he can't really recover from. Grenadier running through the snow, gets killed. So again, right there, pretty much avenging his dead squad. Also has the ability to call in the mortar and not PPSHs, shock troops. So, you know, he can always replace that conscript squad with something else. But he's getting himself a 3rd T-34 just to put the nail in the coffin with those 3 T-34s, he should be able to face anything that comes out of Killjoy. If he does get himself a Panzer IV, which he could get right now, although he doesn't have the manpower for it, 3 T-34s will kill it, hands down. I mean, even on a just one-on-one fight, like, for example, you know, 3-on-1, they don't actually have to activate any ability, and the T-34s will win the fight. Likewise, though, he could just quickly finish the fight by ramming with the 1 T-34 and finish it off with the other two. But regardless, so MG42 that, you know, was stolen is opening up on the infantry that's coming out of the base, forcing the retreat on those piles. Left-hand side, we see Grenadiers moving out to this point. They're going to run into Vet 2 conscripts with a Panzerschreck. So I suppose that Panzerschreck reduces their anti-infantry capabilities slightly. But they do have PPSHs already equipped, so that is more than enough to, you know, compensate. And the Grens are vanilla Grens, so they're not really going to accomplish much. Conscripts right on top of them. They're probably going to throw a Molotov. No? No, they decide to just stay there, fausting the Panzerschreck into the Grenadier in the face. Down goes another conscript. Oh, another shot by the Panzerschreck. It's one more Grenadier. And down goes the entire Grenadier. And just to make sure that, you know, they get put to rest, you know, effectively, they get burned alive by one. Grenadiers, Panzer Grenadiers pushing on the right-hand side against all the infantry. Flare being popped there. Did it actually kill anybody? It looks like it might have. And the Panzer Grenadiers are forced off. More flares getting activated. Not exactly sure why so many flares. But, well, I suppose El Torago now has vision up here. Penal Battalion pushing forward. Still no flamethrower up here on the Penal Battalion. A little sad to see that, but, you know, they are pretty good. They're pretty effective units, and they have more DPS output than conscripts. And we now see the 120mm mortar called in for El Torago, just, you know, reinforcing his dominant positioning on the map. Victory point wise, 434 for Killjoy, 394 for El Torago. So Killjoy still in an advantage as victory point goes, but he is now getting essentially pinned into his base. Perfect squad here to take down this fuel cache is the conscript squad with the Panzerschreck. They move up, they're going to throw a shot at it. And he actually decides to even throw a Molotov to add more damage to it, but that wasn't necessary. They have the Panzerschreck and they just simply blow up the cache. Right hand side, nobody going over there to capture. We do have a conscript squad moving in that direction, so they'll probably be the ones to capture. And the MG42 is back at base, just getting healed up, chatting it up with the ladies, and sitting there. Grenadiers for El Torago, making sure those T-34s are nice and shiny, back to full strength, and they're just sitting in formation in front of Killjoy's exit. Panzer IV hitting the base for Killjoy. Really the only thing he could do and get. Not much else he was going to be able to do. But the Panzer IV is now severely outnumbered with a 4th T-34 coming into play by El Torago. I think that's going to be it. I don't think there's any coming back from this from Killjoy. He is going to lose. Conscripts getting caught by those Panzer Grenadiers. They do end up retreating. Panzer Grenadiers firing on the move. But these guys have Panzerschrecks, so unfortunately they don't have that many assault rifles to shoot at them, so they'll make it out alive just fine. And besides, they have veterancy too, which means, you know, they take less damage. So El Torago shifting his position over to the left-hand side after seeing that massive push. Not sure if he saw the Panzer IV, but he at least saw 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. So he's sending his T-34s on that side. T-34s coming up with a 4th one, hitting the field right now. Should be more than enough to take on all of this. T-34s pushing up, barraging the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers do throw off a volley of Panzerschrecks, getting a little bit of damage, about 10%, 20 on those T-34s. More Panzerschrecks going off, Panzerfaust go off. Ramming goes down on the Tiger, on the Panzer IV, not Tiger. And there we go, exactly what we were mentioning. T-34s now have the full advantage on that Panzer IV. The 3rd one is back here. Infantry getting taken out all over the place. Killjoy down to 1 Panzer Grenadier with a Faust, trying its hardest to kill the T-34. They got disabled, and he will potentially be able to do that considering that there's no infantry here for support, and that has no engine. But with the Panzer IV down, it actually got abandoned. Could have even gotten recruit. Killjoy throws in the towel, losing the fight, and that should be it. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.